we've dedicated to going fully rock certified on everything. And so,
Hell
what that
yeah.
means for us is we've kind of had to make some really hard decisions on things.
Yeah.
We produced kind of a nut and seed based hot cereal that just did not have a path ingredient wise to go rock. And so we discontinued it, right? We just made the hard choice to say like, hey,
Mm,
like, we're going to stop producing this. Like, this isn't something that's going to get us to the next goal that we have. And so, if we're truly
wow.
dedicated to
Wow.
doing this, then we can't like have one foot on either side of the line. Like, we either need to go there, we need to not go there, right? And
Right.
so, discontinue that product line. The granola is going to be a lot more difficult to transition there. I'm still like hopeful that we'll be able to get there in the next year or two. I think there's going to have to be some ingredient formulation changes and to be able to get there. And it's going to be a process. It's going to take time, especially going from that conventional supply chain to organic to regenerative organic. It's not
Yeah.
something that we can do overnight. There's cost considerations, right? And then, taking that to distribution and retail. Of course, you have to give the distributor 90 days to change price, and of course, because we have a year shelf life, the distributor is going to buy up a whole year of inventory during those 90 days, of course, at the lower price before we change prices. And so there's all of those
Hmm.
wonderful considerations, right? We've faced a lot of those operational challenges as well. So we've had to contract out third-party warehouses for storage. So a lot of the
Mm,
ingredients that we're bringing in order to get our pricing where we need to get, sourcing them organic, we have to
right.
buy more of them.
Mm,
So not
yeah.
only to create a bigger cash flow gap, but now it creates a storage problem. And those things have to be stored because they're not fumigated or there's no chemicals. They
Yeah.
have to be stored refrigerated, right? We can't store them ambient, right? Because now we start to deal with
Yeah.
pest issues. And so all of our storage here has always been ambient. And so, now we have to go contract a third party refrigerated warehouse to store a lot of these things that are now
Wow.
organic, which is just adds to the extra freight costs. So you have to freight it there, pay for storage, freight it back, and so it
Mhm.
logistically it becomes a lot more complicated to make that transition because not only is just the raw material pricing increase, but we have to think of, okay, now we have to freight it refrigerated, do we have to store it refrigerated, and all the pricing considerations from distribution into retail. It becomes quite a large, like, you know piece of the pie, right? It becomes a lot to chew on, right? When you start factoring in all of those things and trying to build all of those things into your margin calculations and redoing all of
Yeah.
those things, it can become a nightmare, right? It can become a big, especially with something like a granola that's got, we're trying to do it with, a dozen ingredients, right? Maybe. And
Yeah.
so
What?
it's not something that's going to happen overnight.